My name is Daniela Gerget-Gualdi and I am the Artistic Director for Ronald Sachs International Music Competition. We are proud to present to you a series of interviews with our finalists.
Thank you, Maggie, for being here and doing this interview for us. We are very excited to hear you play on May 16th in the finals of Ronald Sachs International Music Competition. And we would like to know a little bit more about you. So if you don't mind, why don't you tell us a little bit where you're from, when did you start playing your instrument, why did you pick your instrument, who do you study with now, who were your teachers before, etc.
Okay, so my name is Maggie Archer, and I am from Louisa, Virginia. I currently am a second-year student at the Schwob School of Music at Columbus State University, which is located in Columbus, Georgia. And I study with Dr. Andre Martin here at Columbus. And I started playing the flute when I was 11 years old, so 9 years, I believe. Mm-hmm. And my teacher growing up, like through middle school and high school, was Angela Kelly in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I chose to play the flute because my older brother actually started band 2 years before I did. And so when it was my turn to like choose an instrument for band, I just remembered like seeing his concerts and like seeing the flutes and being like, oh, the instrument's so shiny, it's so pretty. Like that's the one that I always knew I wanted to play. Yeah, so that's really how I started playing. And yeah, I just started in 6th grade band and then started taking lessons and really just became passionate about it and decided to pursue a degree. So I'm currently studying music education and flute performance. I'm doing a double major.
Can you tell us some of your highlights of your career so far?
Okay. So some highlights, I guess, would be that in high school, something I really liked to do was perform with groups. So I had like my high school band that I performed with, but I also auditioned for the youth orchestras of Central Virginia, and I was a part of the youth symphony. And I did that for all 4 years of high school. And then I also played with the flute choir that was also a part of that organization. So that was something that was really fun to like get outside of my high school and like play with other groups. Mm-hmm. And then something else that I did, I also was a performer at the Curtis Institute of Music summer flute class with Jeffrey Kainer. That was a really like inspiring environment to be in. And I really enjoyed like throughout high school doing a lot of summer festivals and getting to be surrounded by other musicians. I also have done a lot of different competitions. Recently, I was named a finalist in the Atlanta Flute Club Young Artist Competition. And that's actually, the finals were supposed to happen, but due to recent events, it's been postponed. So that'll be happening sometime soon. I haven't heard back yet, but also in high school, I was a finalist in the National Flute Association High School Soloist Competition. Mm-hmm. And that was like a really big accomplishment for me to be able to be a part of the National Flute Association competitions. And that was just a really great experience. So I think just like playing in outside groups and doing a lot of competitions, and those have really been highlights so far.
Yeah. Well, that sounds already like a very accomplished career. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I know how competitive the flute world can be. Mm-hmm. So that's wonderful. Everything you said sounds like you're on the right way for the stardom. My next question for you would be actually something that you already mentioned right now is about competitions. Mm-hmm. So why do you think the competitions are important, and why did you apply for Ronald Sachs International Music Competition?
So the main reason that I do competitions is really for the experience. Mm-hmm. You get a really good performing experience, I think. You know, when you make it to the final round, it's a chance to really just perform. You know, it's not really about competing, but about just sharing your love for music with other people. So I really love that aspect of it. And I also love the fact that you can get back comments from judges a lot of times, and that helps me to apply that to my playing and move forward in my career. Like, how can I improve, and always looking to be, you know, a better version of
course,
how I am. And yeah, so I think another really cool aspect of competitions is like meeting the other finalists. I think that's really, like, those are going to be my colleagues in the classical music world going forward, like in the future. And I think it's really cool that I'm getting to meet a lot of those people now at a young age. So those are the people I'm going to be playing with. And it's always very inspiring to like hear the other performances and just see the talent that's happening. And the reason I applied for this competition, so my mom had actually found out about this competition online. And so she sent me a link and was like, hey, I think that you should look into this one. And I ended up going online and viewing some of the live streams from the previous year's competitions. And I was just like, wow, this looks like a competition that has a lot of really great talent, and it seemed very prestigious. And I was like, you know, that's something I want to be a part of. So I was also preparing for a recital at the same time. And I was like, oh, so I already have these pieces that are already prepared and that I can already use for my recordings. So I decided to make recordings. And, you know, that's another thing about competitions, is that you end up with all these great recordings that you're sending in. So then you have kind of like a vault of your playing and, you know, how it's changed throughout the years. So I think that's just another great aspect of it. But yeah, for this competition, I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and submit these recordings and see what happens. And it's going to be a great experience no matter what. So.
Well, we are very excited to hear you play live. I know it's not the ideal version of what we have planned to have you here in Wilmington, but we will do our best to present your playing to the world. And who knows, maybe this will bring a different aspects that will be good for your career as well, being promoted live on YouTube and through our website. The whole world can see, you know. So let's hope. My next question for you would be, you have talked about already about preparing for the competition and how having recital program ready can help you in preparing for the recital, applying for competition can make one program better and better. So how much and how long have you been preparing for this program that you're going to perform with us in May?
So I've been working on it for about the length of like this past school semester. So like 4 to 6 months, I'd say. Because I had in mind, I think at the end of last semester that I was going to do my recital in this upcoming semester. And so I started working on the pieces then. And so probably around 4 to 6 months, I'd say.
Is that a typical amount of time for you to prepare a program?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's usually like one semester's length. Yeah.
And what would be your favorite? I mean, I know this is a funny question, but what would be? Is there a piece that you're performing that you like more than the others? And is there any piece in your repertoire, flute repertoire, that you really enjoy performing? That's something that you strive towards, like a genre even.
So probably my favorite like genre or like type of flute music to perform would be kind of on like the newer side, like romantic music up into like contemporary music. My favorite thing that I'm performing on this program, I'm going to be playing the first movement of the Nielsen Flute Concerto. And I performed that last semester for my school's concerto competition. And it is just one of those pieces that I really I don't know, I just really connected with it, and I really love performing it because it has so many different characters that come out. It's like very multifaceted. It, you know, starts out very like heroic, and then it has like a very sweet dolce section, and I think it's one of those ones that can show multiple aspects of my playing, and it really is something that I can like emote through because it's not just one thing throughout the entire piece. It's very, you know, this section is, you know, super contrasting. So I think it gives me a really good chance to show different aspects of my playing. And that's why I enjoy it a lot, because, you know, I can share how I'm feeling through the music. And that's a really great piece that I think shows that.
That's great. We are looking, are you going to play a Nielsen concerto for the competition?
Yes, I will.
Yes, that's wonderful. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
A last couple of questions I would like to ask you, if something like, if you can tell us, you told us a lot about your career and about your teachers and music that you like to play, but maybe you can tell us something that is behind the scene. Like, for example, what do you like to do in your free time? And is there any other kind of music that you like to listen, being very young as you are, besides classical music?
Yeah, so in my free time, I really enjoy being active. I go outside and bike and run a lot. I also really enjoy drawing. I'm not sure if I'm like very good, but I just kind of do it as a hobby. So I really like art, and yeah, just things like painting and drawing and things like that. As far as music besides classical music, I feel like I mostly just listen to like mainstream pop music, which is just.
Can you name an artist?
An artist?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like, you know, Ariana Grande and like just very like, Beyonce, you know, the like mainstream kind of pop music. Just very contrasting to classical music, but
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has been a pleasure to talk to you, Maggie.
Yeah, thank you.
This is awesome. I'm so glad that I got the chance to talk to you in person, and thank you for this interview.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
Stay healthy and safe, and we are looking forward to hear you in May.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.